dramatic, terrible starts, or this year's been kind of just like a slow march. That's the way it's felt all year long, you know. And this group has never been more prepared to be in this situation, to win. Yeah, the group's in a really good place.
You know, I really like hearing you talk like that, because on the outside, everybody's always like, the fans and the media were always like,
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny to hear that it's just interesting to hear that you never felt it was like this. You always thought there was a...
It's interesting that this year, more so than others, I would say fans and media have been up and down on us. But in the room, I feel like it's been more steady, where in years past, you know, our game has been, you know, we're 2-15 to start, you know, and then we have this dramatic, you know, kind of rise from the dead, and then in the year before that, we're a great team, and then we can't win a game for 6 weeks. It's like, it's that, you know, I would say years past has been a little bit more up and down. This year's just been kind of like a slow, steady, you know, march to this point, as I said.
Corey Perry said it's a very mature team, understands everything about this. You agree, obviously.
I agree, you know. It's funny, like, you know, the coach always says, you know, we're a mature team. I always joke, you know, we're the oldest team in the league. We should be mature, you know. Everybody's over 30, so no excuse not to be the most mature team. But I feel like we are, you know. There hasn't been, you know, any moment that's been too big, or any, you know, loss or disappointment that's been too big to overcome. Yeah, it's been a fun group to be part of.
You know, the thing that was most impressive to just me watching Connor was, I didn't know if I believed you guys could win 14 games without Ekholm. I really didn't know that I believed that.
Yep.
And like, were you worried about that at all?
Anytime someone like Eki goes out, you're worried. But it speaks to the depth that we have. We've had incredible performances from guys that, you know, you wouldn't expect. The way, you know, Klinger stepped in, coming off of his, you know, lengthy, you know, rehab. The way Stetcher's played, and just been so solid and steady. The way all the guys have played back there. Wallman's been a great add. You know, losing Eki is devastating, no matter what. But we've had so many guys step up in different times, and to win and be in this position and get Eki back healthy now, I think makes us even more dangerous.
And the thing too is that you guys, and it's also became defense out, like our zone out. And, you know, I've loved watching you joke with people like, we can play defense. But the thing that really stands out is that even with a player like him out, you guys arguably became even better.
It's funny how that works sometimes. It takes someone like that to you know, really focus your attention on that side of the game. You know, it's easy to get distracted by offense and wanting to play, you know, in their zone and do all that stuff. But I've said all along, you know, we know how to play defense. This is a stingy group. I think if you ask anyone that we've played, we defend well. We do, and it takes buy-in from everybody, and I think we've got that. We've got that in spades, so it's been fun to watch.
One of your teammates said the best thing about Connor and Leon is that as demanding as they are of us, they're not as demanding of us as they are of themselves. It's only gone to a new level this year. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I think if you're going to be a good leader, you got to lead the way in terms of your own game. You know, no one listens to a guy who's you know, his own game's a disaster. So I think if we take care of our own game, Leo and I, usually good things happen, and it gives us the freedom to, you know, ask more from other guys and lead the way that we need to. But this group has been so easy to, you know, to lead, I guess, in a way. You know, no one needs any extra motivation. You know, the big mistakes, you don't see them. You know, there's no shooting ourselves in the foot with a stupid mistake. You know, they happen from time to time, but it's not It's not a regular habit that needs fixing. So it's been a really easy group to be a part of.
Harry laughed and I said, does Connor give the look in the room like he gives to me when I ask him a terrible question? He goes, yes, I have seen that look.
I mean, thankfully you don't ask too many bad ones, so yeah, you're all right.
Okay, this last one I want to ask Connor is, I think the thing that's been most impressive aside from the way you guys play is what we've seen now more of you guys as a true team.
Mm-hmm.
Going to Zach Hyman, FaceTiming him, Connor Brown coming out of like the TV stand and stuff like that. Just behind the scenes, what do you see of this group that's made it so close?
Well, I think that stuff is only coming to light just because of where we are. I think that stuff goes on throughout the course of the year, always, you know. There might just be a little bit more attention on it now, and people are realizing that we are a close group, but this group has been together for a really long time, you know, a couple pieces in and out, but everyone that we brought in, you know, feels like they fit in right away. I'm sure the Panthers say the same thing, but that's what it takes. It takes everybody, it takes a team, and we are that. We've had great performances, as we said, all up and down the lineup, both goalies. I think we've had, you know, a number of different forwards score. I think we've played like 9 D-men, so, you know, it's been a total team thing that's gotten us to this point, and it'll need to continue that way through this round.
Last one. Before game 1 or any time over the next couple days, will you say anything special or important to your teammates?
I think as the leader of the team, we're always thinking about, you know, is there something I can do? Is there something I can say? And if there's something that pops up, for sure. If not, I don't think anything needs to be said. I think this group knows what we're after. We've been here before, you know, we know what it's going to feel like, the emotions, you know, everything. There's not going to be anything that catches us off guard. Easy for me to say, but you know, as a leader of the team, we're always taking the temperature of the room every day. If there's something that needs to be said, I got no problem saying it. If there's not, I got no problem leading by example.
Okay, thank you to the Oilers, thank you to the Panthers, thank you to the NHL staff that helped coordinated everything for us on Media Day. It was a well-oiled machine here on Tuesday. Okay, time to drop the puck. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final from Edmonton tonight. 7:30 Eastern, 5:30 Mountain Time. Hockey Central's on the air with the pregame show, and then a little after 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain. From Rogers Place, Game 1, the rematch between the Panthers and the Oilers. We will talk to you next, the day after Game 1, and after every game throughout this Stanley Cup Final, however long it goes. Enjoy this final. Talk to you on Thursday.